All esteem be to the Most High Yah for everything that He is, everything that He does, everything that He causes, everything that He takes away, everything that He changes, everything that He corrects, whatever way that He chooses to discipline, to instruct, to direct, to lead, to guide, to push, to destroy, to build up, etc. All esteem be to the Most High God, that He is the one that is really truly in control. We are on day 2. And our focus, based on Proverbs chapter 1, verse 7, is the fear of Yahweh. So, still yet being transparent about everything, and I probably don't necessarily have to say that the entire time, but at least in the first few videos, and then, it'll at least be seen that that's what I'm actually doing, because I am still struggling in areas, right? So, for example, yesterday was one of those days where exhaustion and emotional pressure tried to speak louder than purpose. And actually, if I'll be honest with you, it did. And if I back up, a couple of days, I allowed it to. And as a result of me allowing it to, because of different things that were going on, then yesterday ended up being the way that it was. And I cannot necessarily say that I was as productive as I would have liked to have been. I got some things done, but there could have been more. Because like I said, I allowed the emotional pressure to speak louder than purpose. Even though there was a time, and I may have actually said this in a different video and probably likely in the other podcast series, but I mentioned that Yahweh had gifted me with this revelation where He had stated that I did not need to allow my situations or circumstances to become louder than His word, louder than His truth, louder than His purpose. Because that is something that I really desire, Yah willing, during this time frame to overcome. And yet struggle in still. What I did is I started looking at how late I had started everything. I pondered, or I thought about how little time I had to do certain things. And I started feeling a subtle pull of discouragement. And even though I just continued about the day to still, I guess, in determination to get what done that I could have gotten done for that day, in the process of it, Yahweh reminded me of something so important. Reverence for Yahweh actually resets the mind. Whenever I lift people, expectations, or even my own standards higher than His presence, higher than His truth, higher than what He desires, peace actually drains away. But whenever my heart comes back under His authority, being reminded that His word, His truth, His way is what needs to be louder, is what's going to come forth, then everything settles. Proverbs chapter 1, verse 7, it says, "The fear of Yahweh is the beginning of knowledge, and fools despise wisdom and discipline." So this truth, this scripture, it teaches something extremely freeing. True knowledge doesn't start with effort. It starts with set apart alignment in the authority of Yahawasha through Yahweh's spirit, right? The fear of Yah is not terror. It's reverence, it's surrender and trust. It's the recognition that He, Yahweh, the Almighty Creator, is the final authority over what we believe, how we think, and how we respond. What I've learned, or what I am learning in this process, on this journey of renewing the mind, is that fear doesn't only look like panic. Fear sometimes looks like overthinking, perfectionism, comparison, or even rushing to prove ourselves. You know, fear actually also looks like avoidance. Especially when there's something that's needed to be faced. And yet, I may give myself excuses as to why I just could not do it for that day or during that day, or I'll just get to it tomorrow. But none of that comes from the fear of Yah. The fear of Yahweh brings calm authority inside the flesh, the soul, the mind, the will, the emotions, not agitation. So, as you consider and ponder any of this today, taking a deep breath slowly and reflect who or what has been shaping my thinking lately. Have I been responding from reverence or from pressure? You see, truth renews the mind with this promise. When we honor Yahweh above opinions and circumstances, confusion dissolves. Wisdom replaces emotional reasoning. Peace returns to the mind when we realign our reverence. So instead of giving in to whatever thoughts or feelings or emotions are going on at the moment, I actually invite you to start speaking to yourself aloud. You could say something like, I reverence Yahweh above all else. I'm not going to allow my feelings and thoughts and emotions cause me to be disobedient any longer. I reverence Yahweh above all else. And I'm not going to allow my situations or my circumstances to be louder than His word or His truth. I trust Yahweh. I do not live to please people. I was actually put here for a purpose that is greater than I could understand or know. In life, as things happen, Yahweh, in His wisdom, He's actually just using it to mold me, to be ready, to be prepared, to be perfected for that position. My mind is governed by wisdom and truth. That's why I read the word of the Most High. That's why I meditate on His word day and night. And whenever things arise, I choose to remember what his word says, not what's presented to me through life. So therefore, peace is my portion. Sometime throughout the day, ask Yahweh to teach you how to reverence him fully, not emotionally reacting to pressure or expectation, not any longer. But ask Yahweh to restore the right posture of your heart before him. Ask him to renew your mind with wisdom and to strengthen your obedience, especially in the midst of things happening within life. Through Yahawasha Mashiach, you can do all things. He will strengthen you. So today, let every decision be filtered through this simple alignment. Does this honor Yahweh, or does this serve pressure? Choose reverence, choose wisdom, choose peace.